Sorry for that. My 4G, I don't know what happened to the phone, but now I'm on Wi-Fi. Okay. Sincerity to the common man. Always be ready to help one another. In other words, how can you be sincere to the common people? Always be ready to help one another. First of all, you should be willing to help your family. Because if I say, yes, I'm going to help society, it's going to be so unpractical. The age that I am in, suppose your age, how can you get out of the house like when you're 10 or 9 or 11, 12, 13? You can't just go around the society helping people. So like, how would you start? How would you practically start? You would start by helping your family, since being sincere to your family, not lying to your family. Always willing to tell the truth, always be willing to help them. Be sincere to your class fellows. If they are doing something wrong, you can stop them. If they're doing something right, you can help them. Be sincere to the poor people, always, like even if you have home help, like the chacha in your house or the ayaji in your school, or any home help that comes in, if you be nice to them, that is the best way you could implement this hadith. Always respect one another, never degrade anyone due to status. In other words, don't degrade the home help that comes into your home. Don't degrade any IRG just because you think they're lesser than you. Always give them respect. Compete in good deeds and refrain from bad. Be just amongst people. Like, you should always compete. Yes, competition is good in good deeds. But you should refrain from bad and be just amongst people. In other words, always be just. Don't do zulm on people. You must be just amongst people. Like, suppose your best friend and a person who you don't like in school, they have a fight, and your best friend is in the wrong, but you're only taking your best friend's side because he's your best friend. That would be wrong. So what would be doing justice? It would be, okay, see who is actually wrong. Even if it's your best friend, you have to acknowledge and tell your best friend that you are wrong. So these are challenges. Okay, now selected hadiths come from paper 2, are always in paper 2, and it is always question number 1. This is the question that you have. Question 1 is, choose any 2 of the following hadiths and describe their teachings about what Muslims believe. And then the B part is, explain how Muslims can put these teachings into action. 4 hadiths are given, 2 to be solved. In other words, you would be given, in paper 2, the question number 1, you would be given 4 hadiths, right? You'll be given the Arabic and you'll be given the translation, and then they will ask you, choose any 2 hadiths of the following hadiths, in other words, the following 4, and then you would describe their teachings about what Muslims believe and explain how Muslims can put these teachings into action. Like in today's lesson, as I talked about the teachings separately, that what is this hadith teaching us, and then I talked about how can we practically implement these things into action, these teachings into action. That would be your B part. Clear? And one thing that most students do is when they see the marks, like two marks, they think, oh, it's just like 4 lines or 3 lines. It's got nothing to do with that. You have teachings within, describe their teachings. How can you describe the teachings of a hadith that has that the hadith has like 4 different parts that you have to describe? How can you just describe that in 2 lines or 3 lines? You have to describe it properly. Explain how Muslims can put these teachings into action. How can you explain in just 2 lines? Explaining how to put teachings into actions has got nothing to do with the marks. Now, assignment question number 1, what I'm giving you now, what you're going to complete now in the remaining time of the lesson. Hadith number 1. From hadith number 1, describe the teachings about what Muslims believe. I will upload this presentation with your assignment in Google Classroom so that you can go through the teachings. I want you to read through the Hamad ibn Nashad book. I want you to read through the Farkhanda Noor book. I want you to read through the Yasmin Malik book, and then develop your answer. And don't always, the 2 marks, it's irrelevant. It should be a good explanation, okay? Explain how Muslims can put these teachings into action. Clear? That is your assignment for today. The remaining time you will be doing your work, and you will upload it by 1 o'clock. Clear? Any questions? You can start your work now. Describe the teachings about what Muslims believe. Hadith number 1, explain how Muslims can put these teachings into actions. Start going through your books